former Paralympic champion. The South African was given a 13-year sentence in 2016. Chelsea found their first win of the Women's Champions League group stage, beating Paris FC 4-1 thanks to a Sam Kerr hat-trick. The win puts them second in their group on 4 points after 2 games. Emma Hayes had high praise for her Australian talisman.
I fancied her to score a hat-trick tonight. I said it to Paul in the dressing room before the game. I felt like she don't get credit for all the other little bits she does, and while she's not, by her standards, top yet, I don't know anyone who just puts the ball away like she does. She really is. She's so alert and so decisive with her movement.
Southampton welcomed Arsenal to St Mary's yesterday with the aim of breaking the record of the highest attendance at a women's match at the ground. Kai Mackenzie has more.
Last night, Southampton women faced off against WSL giants Arsenal, and in doing so, broke the record attendance for a women's game at St Mary's. Although the game finished 2-1 to the visitors thanks to a 93rd minute winner scored by Swedish defender Amanda Ilstedt, Saints manager Marianne Spacey-Kale was proud with how many fans showed up to the Monster tie.
Yeah, you know, the support was fantastic, over 13,000. The fans did come out and supported us throughout the whole 90 or 100 minutes in the end, wasn't it?
Spacey-Kale also thanked the club during her post-match press conference, stating their support was the driving factor behind 13,000 in attendance.
Credit to the club, you know, the process that they've gone through over the last few weeks to get that number in. That's the support we want week in, week out, and to continue building that.
Last week, we also spoke to Molly Pike and Kayla Rendell ahead of the game, and they spoke about their hopes for Saints women's matches further into the season.
I think obviously the women's game's growing a lot, so it's getting more exciting each year, so come down and support whichever team, and hopefully we can get a good loud crowd.
Hopefully get more support for the Southampton women and come along to our club games as well and league games.
Alright, yeah. Before the Premier League starts up tomorrow, the EFL Championship returns tonight with a Yorkshire derby. Managerless Rotherham come off the back of a 5-0 defeat to Watford, with interim manager Wayne Carlisle looking to steady the ship before the Millers hire a new coach. Daniel Farke's start to life at Leeds has been positive as they look to claim superiority at the New York Stadium tonight. England will be without their captain for their final 2 Nations League games. Millie Bright has had to withdraw from the squad due to a knee injury. Manchester United's Millie Turner has been called up as Bright's replacement. After another long 2-week international break, the Premier League is back with a bang. Manchester City and Liverpool face off in a top-of-the-table clash this Saturday lunchtime at the Etihad. Pep Guardiola's side has been given a big boost as star striker Erling Haaland was pictured in training yesterday. Meanwhile, Liverpool quartet of Curtis Jones, Ibrahima Konate, Joel Matip and Ryan Gravenberch will return. Whoever wins the crunch fixture will likely find themselves top of the table. A hard task for Liverpool, who haven't won at the Etihad in over 5 years. Now, Mikel Arteta will take charge of his 200th game on Saturday against Brentford. The Spanish boasts the highest percentage of any manager to reach that milestone for the club, since arriving from Manchester City almost 4 years ago. I'm joined by Arsenal correspondent Tom Humphreys to discuss Arteta's reign. Hi Tom.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'd like to ask you, during Arteta's reign, how would you say he's changed the culture at the club?
So I'd say one of the biggest changes has been the age of the squad. You've got young players like Bukayo Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe have emerged, and also players that were older like Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Mesut Ozil have departed. So Arsenal look a lot fresher and a lot younger, as well as the players that they've signed being young and matching that sort of bill.
So obviously Arteta came in and won the FA Cup straight away, but since then, with a win percentage of almost 60%, he hasn't won any more trophies. Would you say that's been a disappointment?
Sure, I mean, obviously the Community Shield is there, but most people don't really regard that as a trophy or a major trophy. I would say they were very close last year in the Premier League, which was unexpected. But I would say the disappointment probably lies in the FA Cup. The League Cup is always an opportunity to win a trophy. And then even last year in the Europa League or the years before, it's really a trophy they should have been targeting to win, but didn't.
Great, thank you Tom.
Thank you.
Now, the Solent Ravens stunt team opened the door to their training facilities and showed some of our reporters how to fly this week as they prepare for their competitive season.
The Solent Ravens stunt group is a cheerleading team made up of brave flyers who don't mind being chucked about. The group is currently in action ahead of competitions they have in the next few months.
So we have 2 competitions coming up. One is in February and I believe the other one is in April. So yeah, we're just training for those. When we go to the competitions, the atmosphere is absolutely crazy. Like, I'm not joking. Everyone there is so lovely. They're constantly cheering everyone on. Like, you can literally hear screaming from a mile away. But yeah, we make up the routines here. We try and make them as hard as we can make them to score higher points.
The Solent Ravens also have a game day team who create routines for the Solent basketball team. Abby is an example of someone who takes part in both the game day team and stunt group team.
They're quite similar in terms of, obviously I do stunting here and then I do a lot of stunting there, but it's really fun to try and balance because there's a dance element and then also with this it's quite strict in terms of like, you know, just doing all the jumps and stuff and all the lifts, but I just love it. I balance it quite well because I really enjoy it. It's something that I look forward to rather than coming back from uni and just being like, right, I have cheer now, I can go. So no, it's something I just really enjoy and I love balancing both of them, I guess.
To find out how difficult stunt cheerleading actually is, a couple of our reporters took their turn.
5, 6, 7, 2, 1, up. Hit the beat, high. 5, 6, 7, 3.
Alice is the coach of the stunt group and explains what she brings.
There's so many rules of cheerleading, especially with the different levels. The different levels are based in terms of safety. So the way that you would brace a certain stunt, you would put it up very differently depending on what level it is at. And so I need to be trained to make sure we're doing that safely. And then every session I come with a session plan so that I can build up the stunts bit by bit. You know, it's a perfection before progress with cheer, where you're literally throwing people in the air. We don't want any broken necks.
The Solent Ravens will be hoping for some good performances in their upcoming competitions. The Solent Ravens stunt group.
The Dallas Cowboys thrashed the Washington Commanders 45-10 in the second of 3 NFL Thanksgiving games in an NFC East matchup. Darren Bland set an NFL record in the blowout by recording his 5th interception that he returned for a touchdown. Elsewhere, the San Francisco 49ers beat the Seattle Seahawks, whilst the Green Bay Packers upset the Detroit Lions in the first game of the day. Formula One bosses have decided to change the format of sprint races. The new format is still undecided, but it is thought that the sprint race would take place before qualifying for the main Grand Prix. Another change that has been proposed is to add a cooling duct so the drivers aren't exposed to such extreme heat as they have done previously. This follows calls for improved driver safety following races which have seen drivers pass out and throw up during races. We now go live to the Ageas Bowl, following positive news about the increased cricket doubleheaders next season.
We're here at the Ageas Bowl, the home of the Southern Vipers women's cricket team, with news that next year there'll be 22 doubleheaders between the T20 Blast and the Charlotte Edwards Cup. This is obviously groundbreaking news for women's cricket. It means more spectators will be in seats and obviously a greater chance to expose the sport to all the fans around the country. So fantastic news for women's cricket. The Southern Vipers had a fantastic year last summer, obviously winning the double, the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy and the Charlotte Edwards Cup. Next year they'll be looking to defend the double and build on their perch at the top of the women's game in England. That's all from me, back to the studio.
The Vipers are preparing ahead of the 2024 season. Baxter C. Wilson spoke to Nancy Harmon, a bowler for the Vipers, about last season's Cup double win and the up-and-coming fixtures.
The Southern Vipers are preparing ahead of breaking news that there will be 22 double-headers next season, a record in women's cricket. Nancy Harmon, one of their star players last year, is getting ready ahead of the 2024 season.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think it's worked well in the 100. Certainly the doubleheaders in the 100 have brought in bigger crowds. So fingers crossed it can do it here as well. And we love playing at the Ageas Bowl anyway. So and we have a good relationship with the Hampshire men here as well. So be nice to sort of roll out as a double on that day.
After an impressive double in the Charlotte Edwards Cups and the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy, Nancy is confident that they will be able to repeat their success this year.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. I think we had success in the T20 last year, but yeah, to come back and then win them both was like, it was what we set out to do 2 years ago, and yeah, to do it this year was just awesome, and it was a really great season all round. Yeah, look, I think building on the double's hard. Like, if we could do it again, that would be amazing. But yeah, I think maybe more consistent performances. Like, we came from 5th to win the double, so I think as a team we'd like to perform as consistently as we can over the season. But that said, we won some tough matches to get there in the end, so hopefully just the same amount of fight next year.
It won't be an easy task for the Vipers, but with head coach Charlotte Edwards at the helm, Nancy believes they can achieve anything.
Yeah, I always feel like there's a bit of pressure on the Vipers. A lot of teams sort of hate us because we've won quite a lot, so everywhere we go it's sort of like, oh, the Vipers are here again. But we're really lucky to have some sort of senior players that have played all over the world and played under a lot of pressure. And obviously our coach, Lottie herself, has played at the highest pressure of playing for England, so I feel like we're starting to get a bit more used to it.
Baxter Wilson, Solent Sports News.
The Rugby Premiership has had a Friday night double-header, with the Harlequins travelling to Northampton and leaders Sale Sharks host second place Bath. Scotland's Finn Russell and England's George Ford will go head-to-head on their return to domestic rugby in Salford. Wales international George North also returns for Saints at Franklin Gardens. North will be hoping to carry his form from Paris to Northampton. The European Curling Championship semi-finals have started this morning, with Bruce Mowat and Scotland have made it to the final and looking to make it a 4th title in the last 4 attempts. They beat Switzerland 7-4 this morning thanks to a late scoring flurry in the final 3 ends. That's all from us for now. I'll be back next time. Remember, you can keep up to date with our website, solensportsnews.com. Thank you for watching.